and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. The BBC watchdog has said Jeremy Paxman did cause offence by talking about religious hogwash and saying that stupid people believed in a literal understanding of Genesis. The Newsnight presenter made the controversial remarks while interviewing atheist writer Professor Richard Dawkins.
How we condition impressionable brains to absorb religious hogwash.
Do you find any of them personally affecting you? You think, gosh, what a wonderful story.
Actually, Genesis is, as a story, as a myth, yes. And I mean, as long as you don't think it's true, the trouble is that 40% of the American people think it's literally true. And they probably think Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt as well, for that matter.
Do you really care that there are a lot of stupid people around?
The BBC Trust decided that Mr Paxman's comments were offensive to viewers, but rejected complaints that they broke rules on impartiality. A statement from the Trust said that Mr Paxman's remarks were offensive to some of the audience and that there was no clear editorial purpose for their use in the context of this Newsnight item. A government advisor has run into controversy by saying evangelical Christians are like totalitarian Muslims. Alan Judd, an education advisor, was commenting on recent free school applications. Writing in the Daily Telegraph, he said religious believers should be allowed to run schools, but he added, "The trouble is, as always, when it's taken to extremes, whether it's evangelical Christians, totalitarian Muslims or segregationist Jews." The comments drew criticism from the Evangelical Alliance. General Director Steve Clifford said, "It is wrong and worrying that a senior government advisor brands evangelical Christians as extremist. There are approximately 2 million evangelical Christians in the UK, the fastest growing part of the church worldwide. They take their faith seriously, but that does not make them extremist." Primary school storybooks which promote gay marriage may be pushed into classrooms if marriage is redefined in Scotland. Books such as Hello Sailor, The Sissy Duckling, Daddy's Roommate and King and King are already on recommended reading lists. A top human rights lawyer says teachers could be dismissed if they refuse to use the books, and parents may be hard-pressed to remove children from such lessons. A senior activist in the Scottish National Party has resigned over the party's push for gay marriage. Robert Stewart says the party is being undemocratic by ignoring the results of a public consultation which found that 2/3 of Scots were opposed to the move. Until his resignation, he was the secretary of a constituency association in the Highlands and had been a party member for 22 years. Meanwhile, in America, a multi-billion-dollar fast food chain has been attacked for opposing gay marriage. The president of Chick-fil-A says he is very much supportive of the biblical definition of the family unit, but the mayors of San Francisco, Chicago and Boston have objected, suggesting that they might even ban the fast food chain from opening any new restaurants in their cities. The row has led to a surge in public support for the fast food outlet, with customers queuing for hours to buy meals in mark of Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day. New researchers say that fathers who lovingly bond with their babies in the first months of their lives have a good influence on their child's later behaviour. Researchers watch dads interacting with their infants at 3 months and then assess the same baby's behaviour at 12 months. They found that babies whose dads were more engaged had fewer problems later on. But babies with remote or distant dads were more likely to have behavioural problems when they reached the age of 1. And finally, a Viking longboat has sailed up the River Tyne in Newcastle to thank the people of Northumbria for sending them the missionaries who brought Christianity to Norway 1,000 years ago.
We just rowed a Viking longship Gaia under the Millennium Bridge to come and say thank you for the part that the ancestors of the people in Northumberland played in bringing the Christian gospel to the Scandinavian countries 1,000 years ago. Our nations were founded on the Christian worldview, coming and joining our people together under one faith and under one kingdom.
Well, that's all for this week. There'll be no bulletin next Friday because we're taking a week's break, but we'll be back on your screens in 2 weeks' time. Until then, you can keep up with all the latest news on our website at christian.org.uk. Goodbye for now.